All right, so Olivia's one of my student athletic trainers. She's a freshman. What is one of the ways that you've learned best so far in the 10, 12 weeks that you've been a student athletic trainer? What is some of the things that we've done that you feel like you've really learned? So is it that we make you tape 400 times, or that we keep going over CPR, or is it that you're sitting in here in class? What has helped you?
I think learning CPR and taping. In the beginning, how we had to do the ball of tape, just ripping it, the whole thing, and then in class doing CPR over and over with people.
The mannequins?
Yeah.
So just being continually exposed to it.
Practicing taping at home.
Okay. So kind of just what both you guys are saying is the internship is just that being there, being a hands-on, Chris said watching like a hawk, just making sure they're doing it correctly. That's kind of what you're saying. Because what we did is they had to tape. They could only tape on us one time per day, and that was their test for that day. So if they failed that, then they can move on to the next step. But if they pass that, they can move on to the next step. If they failed it, then they had to wait till the next day. And for us, it had to be perfect for the taping. And so, like you said, they're nervous when they're looking at me, or when they're taping me, and which is good because I want me to be the hardest person they ever tape. And so I think just the fact that some of them would probably tape like 40 different times, tape my ankle or Doc's ankle, and so just making them practice, and so then when they get to tape the athlete, they don't know if you're taping them right or wrong, so it's a lot easier. So. All right, there at Allen, do y'all have any sort of like check off, like I was talking about checking off with the taping, any sort of, you need to have this knowledge or this competency to continue in our program?
Well, with our tapings to get checked off to start with, they have to show, we watch them do their tapings, kind of like you said, they do a great job 40 times, and then we watch them like to do their tests, and they freak out and can't do it. But for the most part, when they do tape, we'll give them a scale of 1 to 5, basically meaning a 5 is like one of us taping. If somebody were to come in and look at it, they can't tell between their taping and our taping, and it goes down from there. Once they hit about a 4 or 5, then we can trust them to tape others, athletes and whatnot, to go out to practice in games. So it's kind of our scale. Let you guys add into that.
I mean, it's fairly, it's going to be subjective, of course. But you're looking, we're always looking for different things. Really, neatness is one. How they're actually applying the tape. Are they bruising the roll? Are they having to set it down all the time? Are they, moving around too much and not being efficient? One of the things, that's part of it. Again, going back to the neatness part of it, wrinkles, are they going to cause a blister? Or is going with the ankle, are they getting the arch, the stirrup going up into the arch? And those type of things, we start counting off for that. And believe it or not, we all have different taping styles. Mary Lynn, her and I tape totally different from each other. I tape, you could go to Arnheim, and that's the way I was taught, that's the way I tape. She was taught by Dave Binder at UNM, and there's quirks to it. So some of the kids will say, hey, if you learn it Doc's way, you tape it his way. If you learn it Coach Miller's way, learn it that way. I put my pre-rep on backwards. So, that they get on me about that. So, we'll start structuring that way, and we really watch them. I'll strip it down piece by piece and tell them, look, I'm not giving you credit for this. You're going to redo it. And I said, I'm not going to watch you. And then I'll go back over there and make them nervous and whatever else. But each taping proficiency we have, there is small check marks, but the biggest thing is application and neatness. Are they putting the strips on correctly? Or is it neat? Is it in a certain amount of time? If they're taking too long, then we're going to count off for that. And especially when we're looking for varsity student trainers, you're going to be under time. You need to be under at least 3 minutes period taping, because you don't know when you're going to have to be asked to do that out on the field and get that player back. And the other thing is comfort. I'll make the kids get up and say, okay, how does that feel? I mean, is it too tight, too loose, things of that nature as well.
All right, so do y'all have, I talked to Bubba Wilson, and he said when they had, when he was working at Kingwood High School, they had like a band system. So they got 10 or 12 different bands. So they had 10 or 12 different levels, like the colored wristbands, the Livestrong wristbands, whatever they are. And so they had to pass certain tests and know certain skills to level up. And, those levels equated to different rewards or responsibilities. Do y'all have any sort of thing like that? Because I know in the news segment it said that they had to be able to tape at a level 4 or 5 in under 3 minutes, which is what you just said. But are there other minimum requirements that you have for those kids to work varsity?
Yes, I mean we put together a whole when this program exploded, and to really decide, I mean, we just couldn't arbitrarily say, okay, it's going to be this one because we think here and here. We really had to go back and reevaluate the program and put some proficiencies in place. One was our tapings. Two, how they did. We told them, we said, look, we're going to score you how well you did, in working in the class period, or how if they don't do the class, then some of them go to off-season football. And then, we put that in place, and we weigh a lot of other things. We had some other ones in there.
Just a lot of things through the whole semester, both semesters, fall and spring. Dress code. Are they dressing out appropriately every day of what they need to have for that day, whether it be practice or games? Are they on time all the time? Are they going above and beyond in their skills and practice and what they're supposed to be doing? In a sense, we kind of run it like a college program to where we have high expectations for them that they need to meet all the time. And if they meet those or go above those, then they're going to be considered for a varsity sport. If they're just doing what is asked, then it may need some more work to get to that point. And we have an evaluation at the end of spring ball every year with all our students. Every single one, we have an individual evaluation to tell them their strengths, their weaknesses, what they need to work on over the summer, encourage them to go to camps, encourage them to work on this or whatever. And that seems to help to give them an idea of where they need to go, what they need to get better at in order to achieve what they want to do in here.
And also how they conduct themselves on the field and out of practice and their interactions. Are they one that's going to sit back and watch and wait and let someone else do their job? Or are they going to go out and do their jobs? It's very evident here if someone's not here, someone's not doing their job, well, the kids here, they're going to call you out. There's a job list posted that our head trainers do, especially during football season. They make it up each week, and it's posted on our bulletin board. And if someone's not there or not doing their job, then
noticed.
Then it's noticed. There may be someone who covers for somebody because they'll say, "Hey, so and so's not here. I'm going to get their stuff for them." But that's a lot of things we look at. And in spring ball, the girl in. Of course, we only have all girls here, so they're pretty competitive with each other.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Chris, do you have any sort of end of the year evaluation like they were talking about?
Oh, well, our evaluation tool is our point system that we have. If they're, and Mike sounds kind of like me. I mean, Arnheim is kind of like the Bible of athletic training. So my kids feel the same way, and that's what they call it when they're studying for the quiz bowl. But we expect them to work hard. We expect them to be self-motivated. We treat it like a job. If you're late, if you're working at Chick-fil-A and you show up late to work or you don't show up, you're going to get fired. That's what's going to happen in our program too. We're going to interview you. You're going to get hired, and if you don't do your job, you're going to get fired. But our evaluation tool is a point system that we use. If they do everything that they're scheduled to do, they get 0 points. That's fine. If you want to do the minimum, you want to get by, that's fine in our program. But the majority of our kids are getting extra points by coming extra early in the morning and helping out, or staying after school and helping out, or anything that we need, or going to just staying around, sticking around the athletic training room to learn or whatever. You're going to get extra points. In the same way, you'll lose points if you're late or you don't show up, or you break any of our rules. We can take points away. And then at the end of the year, we'll have each week, I guess we have a Golden Scissors Award winner. We hand out a pair of Golden Scissors to whoever has the most points for the week. At the end of the year, whoever has the most points goes on our perpetual plaque in the athletic training room as the most valuable student athletic trainer. So you're evaluated on a weekly or daily basis. And if you have negative points or you're hanging around that zero, you're probably not going to make it in our program. Either my students will run you out, the ones that work hard, or you're going to leave.
All right. So do you guys continue the scissor program throughout the entire year, or is it just during football?
Just the entire year.
Okay.
We'll use the tool because we have our blue bus that we have. You've seen
Mm-hmm.
it. Our sports medicine bus. We can fit 10 student athletic trainers on with all of our equipment, and so we use that as a tool to see who's going to go to varsity football games with us. This year we have 5 seniors, so they're automatically going to go, and then based on points are going to be who's going to go. A freshman might be going over a junior. If they're working hard and they're there every day, working more than they're scheduled to work, then yes, I see how hard you work, and I'm going to take you with me as to kind of reward you. You're going to go to the varsity game with us. So we take 10 students to varsity football games. That's it.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the attendance thing here in just a second. So, and at Island, do you guys have at the beginning of the year, I think you said 17 varsity, U17 or varsity football, and that's it? Nobody else can crack that bubble, or is it a fluid thing that changes week to week or every 2 weeks?
Well, basically what we did is we try to keep it around 15-ish, depending, but it also depends on how well they're working. And if we feel that there's maybe 1 or 2 more that we would like to have with us because they've been doing a good job. This year we started with 16, and then at the end of the the regular season, then we nominate 1 JV football trainer to move up to varsity, and basically they're with us for the remainder of the playoffs, and they are now considered a varsity trainer. So that's how we get to 17 for the playoffs. And we didn't mention this before, but during the JV season or during football season, we have our varsity student trainers vote on a trainer of the week, and that's 1 JV trainer each week that has done a great job with football, attendance-wise, helping out, and so on throughout the week, and they get pulled up for the varsity game that week. So it's a reward for them. It also shows them what all goes on the varsity side of things versus JV, since it's obviously a lot more intense and more to do and whatnot. And it gives them a little bit more to work towards than just being out there in the sun every day, standing with water bottles and whatnot. So,
and that being said, their vote isn't the only vote. Of
Yeah.
course, we're going to have a heavy hand in which one. If it's someone who we say that, we have a tutorial system here too. If you have a grade below at 70 or below, you have to go to tutorials here athletically on Monday and Wednesday. There's no way around it. And so if a student's been on that, if they're failing or they're on that tutorial list, that's going to hold against them on that. So they may not be selected. Those two could be equal, but that person's having to go into tutorials because they may have failed that progress, and it's like you're not going, or you're having your grades up, but you're still not going. So you've got to do what's in here. You've got to do what's right in the classroom in order to succeed in here as well.
All right. So that's the thing with that many girls, and then you're talking about kind of like the seniors or the lead ones voting. How do you avoid that drama or the popularity contest?
oh, if I could only tell you.
We've had some knockdown dragouts.
It's hard to say. I mean, I try to corral it in a sense of they need to look at it more of a professional way of who does things that they're supposed to be doing on a daily basis, who's coming in on time, who's earning up to the expectations that we have set all the time. It's not a popularity contest. And, when they're out there working together, who's doing a great job, and basically really trying to hit home on that before they do the vote. And then once the votes come in, it's usually pretty close to who we already have in mind as to who we feel has done a great job that year or during that time period, to reward them with Trainer of the Week or Trainer of the Year. Our Trainer of the Year is one of our varsity trainers that we present at our football banquet each year, and it's